For part 2 of this project, we are going to learn how to take a logo that we've created in a vector graphics program and bring it into a raster image editing program in order to have it inherit some of the texture and sort of grit from underneath. If you take a look right here, you'll see that this is the end result. We're going to take our black logo that we created, we're going to colorize it, and we're also going to allow it to interact with the layer beneath so it looks as if it is actually painted on the surface. So for this project, we're going to go to Photopea. So here's an example. We're using 2 different pieces of software for the appropriate part of each project. We're going to go to New Project over here, and we're going to again use the 1080 by 1080 Instagram size and hit Create. The asset that I'm going to have you use for this part of the project is linked in the slide presentation, but here it is on Pixabay. I'm simply just going to right-click and copy the image. You could also save the image and then do a open place by going to File, Open in Place if you had it saved, or you can just Control V to paste it. And ordinarily we're going to hold Shift when we resize, but I can actually get away with stretching this out of its normal aspect ratio just because you can't really look at this and tell that I did anything. So sometimes you can get away with breaking the rules, and this is an example where we can. So I have placed my wood lumber background, and I'm going to turn my transform controls off just because I think they can be distracting. And now what I'm going to do is bring in my double circle logo. And so I'm going to go to File, Open in Place. This is the file that I just downloaded in part 1, and it's called double circle logo. Oops, let me go to desktop. Double circle logo.png. Wherever you saved it, go to the appropriate location, and it should place it as such. It's a 1080 by 1080 artboard or page from before, so it should be sized just like so. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check this box and place it. Now I'm going to do a couple of things, and it'll make sense in just a minute. I want to inherit the sort of shadows from beneath. So in order to see that a little bit more clearly, I'm going to go to Image Adjustments, Invert, like so, and just make it white. So that turns the whites black, the blacks white. Basically it goes to the opposite side of the color wheel for any colors that aren't white and black. Now I'm going to click on Effects down at the bottom, EFF, and I'm going to go to Blending Options, and I'm going to slide my background to the right. Now, sometimes it doesn't always give you a preview. It is right here. Basically, it's going to blend if gray, and so if the color beneath is dark, it's going to show through. You can see if I go all the way to the right, it's going to disappear basically. But here it allows you to determine how much of the underlying colors you want to come through. I'm also going to slide this down just a bit as well. You can see that it would allow some of the lighter colors to sneak through, and it's just sort of trial and error, guess and check to get it to be the setting that you want. I'm going to move it to about here. Now you don't have to do exactly the same, but that's approximately what we want. You could also knock the opacity down, but not more than 10%, just to sort of show some of the grain color from beneath. And then go ahead and hit OK. All right, now if you wanted to change the color of this logo, what you could do is create a new layer on top, and then you could choose a color with your foreground picker. I'm going to choose this sort of vintagey off-white yellowish sort of color. Click OK, and then use your paint bucket tool to fill in that entire layer. And you're like, oops, you just ruined the design. No, you didn't. What we're going to do is right click on this layer, and we're going to add a clipping mask. So that'll basically only add that layer on top of the layer beneath. And here again, you could play around with the opacity settings, and you could even play around with blend modes a little bit as well. I like it like this though, down at about 85, 75, somewhere in there. Okay, so this allows you to sort of bring the texture from the underlayer beneath by using the effects blending options that we did on the logo itself. Make sure that you save this as a PSD, also save it as a JPEG, and submit it to Google Classroom. Thank you very much.